The first thing he remembered was the sound, a hollow, metallic hum that vibrated through his bones. When he opened his eyes, the world around him was made of walls, impossibly tall, stretching upward until they disappeared into darkness. There was no ceiling, no sky. Only that low, droning hum that pulsed like a heartbeat. The ground was damp concrete, cold. His palms left faint prints of moisture as he pushed himself upright. A single, flickering light bulb hung from nowhere, buzzing like a trapped insect. It illuminated only a few meters ahead before darkness swallowed everything else. He turned. There were 3 passages, each identical, each fading into blackness. He whispered to himself, "Where am I?" But his voice sounded strange, swallowed by the air, as if the maze itself absorbed sound. He tried to remember how he'd gotten here. There was only a blur, a car, headlights, rain. Then nothing. Now there was only this place. He picked the middle corridor. Its walls were smooth, concrete, and faintly warm to the touch. As he walked, his footsteps echoed back to him, soft, delayed, out of rhythm. After a few minutes, he realized it wasn't an echo. Something was walking behind him. He stopped. The sound stopped. He turned. Nothing. The corridor stretched back endlessly, lit only by the dim flicker of that same impossible bulb. He forced himself forward. After what felt like an hour, the corridor opened into a chamber. At the center stood a stone pedestal, covered in dust and strange symbols. On it lay a note, yellowed and torn. He hesitated, then read, "There is only one way out. Every path takes you closer to him. The maze remembers your fear." He frowned. Him? Before he could think, a new sound emerged, a deep, distant breathing, too heavy, too wet. It wasn't close, but it was there, and it was moving. He dropped the note and ran. The corridors shifted. He was sure of it. Where there had been a left turn, there was now a wall. When he doubled back, the passage was gone. The maze wasn't fixed. It moved like a living thing, changing when he wasn't looking. He began marking the walls with his nails, scratching small lines into the concrete. But each time he turned a corner, the marks were gone. Hours or days passed. He couldn't tell. There was no time here. Only the hum and that slow, dragging sound that followed him through the dark. Sometimes, when he stopped to breathe, he could hear it closer, the soft scrape of flesh against concrete. Sometimes it whispered words he couldn't understand. Sometimes it whispered his thoughts before he had them. Then he reached another chamber. This one was circular, with walls engraved in patterns that seemed to twist when he blinked. In the center, another pedestal, this time with a mirror. When he looked into it, his reflection smiled back at him. He staggered away. The reflection stepped closer. Its mouth moved, but no sound came. Then, slowly, words began to appear across the glass, written in black, as if by an invisible hand. To escape, you must remember what you forgot. He touched the mirror's surface, and the glass rippled like water. The hum grew louder. The floor vibrated beneath him. He ran again. At some point, he began hearing a voice in his head. Not his own. A woman's voice, calm, familiar. You shouldn't have come back. He shouted into the maze, "Who are you?" Only silence answered. Then faintly, from somewhere deep within the corridors, footsteps. He turned a corner and froze. There, at the end of the hall, stood a figure. Tall, thin, still. Its head tilted slightly, like it was studying him. No face, just a pale, smooth surface reflecting the dim light like wet clay. He backed away slowly. The figure didn't move. Then the light flickered, once, twice, and when it came back on, the figure was gone. He began to run again, not caring where. His lungs burned, his legs ached. Every corridor looked the same. Every turn led him deeper. Then he found the third chamber. This one was different. The walls pulsed faintly, as if something alive beat behind them. The air was warmer. On the far side, a door stood, heavy, rusted, and bolted shut with 3 locks, each carved with a symbol, a circle, a triangle, and a square. Beside the door, there stood 3 pedestals holding objects, a clock without hands, a candle burning without flame, and a key made of glass. He approached the clock first. On its face, faint words appeared. "Find the moment you lost." He touched it, and for an instant the maze dissolved. He was standing in a room, warm, lit by morning light. A woman sat across from him, the same voice he'd heard. She was crying. He couldn't hear her words, but her lips formed one word: "Why?" Then she vanished. The maze returned. The first lock, the circle, clicked open. He turned to the candle. It burned without heat, but its wax dripped upward, defying gravity. He whispered, "What do you want from me?" The flame flickered, and a child's laughter filled the air. He saw flashes, a park, a swing, rain falling, and his own hands covered in blood. The laughter stopped. The second lock, the triangle, clicked open. Finally, the glass key. He picked it up carefully, and for the first time his reflection stared back from its surface. He looked older, tired, hollow-eyed. The reflection spoke. "To escape, you must remember your name." He froze. He couldn't. He tried, but the harder he reached for it, the more it slipped away, replaced by the endless hum, the corridors, the shifting walls. He whispered, "Who am I?" Behind him, the breathing returned, closer than ever. A shadow stretched across the mirror, tall and featureless. Its hands rose, slow and deliberate. He reached toward the glass. The reflection reached back. Their fingers met. The surface rippled, then shattered. When the light returned, the mirror was gone. The room was empty. Only the faint sound of footsteps retreating deeper into the maze. And where he had stood, the walls began to move again, closing, shifting, erasing. Somewhere, deep within the labyrinth, a whisper echoed. He remembered nothing. The maze remains.